to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing in honor of our servicemen and women who have served and who continue to serve both here and abroad. Clerk will call the roll. Yeah, I do.
Councilor Anderson. Crow. D'Angelo. Lucy. Kinnan. Matheson. Murphy. Nestor. Spatafora. Altrino. Bucci.
Here. Good evening, everyone. We're going to actually open up our City Council night tonight and would like to make a couple presentations. There are some fabulous groups here tonight, and the first group that we would like to recognize is our Junior Aid Society, and I'm going to ask Councilor Murphy to hand out this particular citation from the City Council.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to read this in a moment. But first of all, I just want to say to the audience, I am so proud to be able to give out this citation to Junior Aid tonight. As a member of the organization, also Councilor Crow is also a member of Junior Aid. It is just a wonderful experience to be 100 years old. But I wanted to tell the audience a little bit about Junior Aid and not just read the citation. The Junior Aid Association of Malden, originally the Junior Aid Association of Malden Hospital, was founded November 12, 1912 by Mrs. A.G. Burnham. At that time, the primary objective of the organization was to render service and provide financial assistance to the hospital. The membership consisted of 32 women from the Malden community who volunteered their time by sewing infants' clothes and bedding for the hospital's pediatric ward. For many years, the group worked diligently, rolling bandages, sewing diapers, providing pajamas, donating Christmas gifts, awarding nursing scholarships, and raising funds for various hospital programs and much-needed medical equipment. Since its inception, the members of Junior Aid have given unsparingly of their time and energy to assist the community. The organization has sponsored numerous fundraising events, including brunches, bridge parties, concerts, auctions, and of course, the traditional charity ball. The first major event was held in 1928 at the Malden Armory and attracted 500 people. In 1937, the Silver Anniversary Charity Ball was celebrated and nearly 1,000 people were in attendance. In May 2000, in collaboration with the City of Malden, Junior Aid assisted in planning the city's 350th Gala Ball. Historically, the group meets monthly at homes of various members to plan its upcoming events. This tradition continues today. Today, although no longer affiliated with the hospital, the organization continues in its dedication to the community by providing financial assistance to charitable organizations with a focus on women's, children, and health-related issues. Most recently, Junior Aid has donated grants to assist the following programs: Housing Families, Bread of Life, Sam Reinhart's Memorial Fund, Mass Senior Action, Portal to Hope, the Hospice Program of Hallmark Health, and the Bone and Joint Program of Hallmark Health. The Junior Aid Association is comprised of 50 women. It's amazing to think that you have an organization in the city that has existed continuously for 100 years, let alone a business. It's just an incredible group of women who truly enjoy helping other people and raising money to help good causes within the city. We are always looking for new members and people who would like to be a part of, a growing circle of business women who really enjoy each other's company and enjoy the opportunity to provide for the community. If you have any interest in finding out more about Junior Aid, I would ask you to contact our president, Mary Beth Leon, or you can also contact me and I will get your name to Mary Beth. So having said that, and just being so very proud to be here tonight to read this, the City of Malden, Massachusetts, be it hereby known to all, the Malden City Council hereby offers its sincerest congratulations and best wishes to Junior Aid Association of Malden. In recognition of your 100 years of dedicated service to the community and your commitment to improving the lives of others, we thank you for your effortless endeavors and are proud to have your organization vested in the City of Malden, given this 20th day of November. Thank you for all you do, ladies. You're amazing.
Do you want to get a picture with the Junior Aid
Coming
members?
up to receive
They
our,
would come
her
up to the
award,
podium?
our award is our President, Mary Beth Leon. And yes, a picture would be
A
wonderful.
picture would be great.
Let's go get a picture together. No.
Thank you very much. The next group that we're going to honor and recognize tonight is the Girl Scouts. I, as president, have a citation that we would like to read on their behalf. Be it hereby known to all that the City of Malden hereby offers its sincerest congratulations and best wishes to the Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts, the Malden Service Unit, in recognition of your 100 years of providing girls with opportunities to build courage, confidence, and character. We thank you for your community service projects and for being an exceptional resource for the young girls in Malden, given this 20th day of November 2012. Could the representative of the Girl Scouts please come up? I will ask to come up and do a presentation to the council is Dan Keith, our athletic director of Malden High School. So if Dan, Mr. Keith, could you please come to the podium? And along with Mr. Keefe, we have our Malden High football players. So the podium is on, Mr. Keefe, if you would like to say a few words.
First of all, I just want to go through, we're going to introduce everyone, starting with, go ahead, Paul.
Paul Kieran.
Captain.
Captain. G. Sylvain, captain.
Jacob Martino, captain.
Cruz Roches, captain.
Brianna Machad Santiago, captain.
Bianca Scola, captain.
Joe Papagallo, head football coach.
The reason we came tonight is because Thursday, as we all know, is the historic 125th playing of the Medford-Malden Thanksgiving Day football game. So with that, the captains of each squad have commemorative coins to hand to you that we're giving to all the players and coaches, and the commemorative tickets that we're going to be using on game day. So, go ahead.
Go Tornadoes.
Thank you. Thank you. Number 73.
Thank you very much. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, guys. You're going to win.
Go get 'em. Go get 'em. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Keith, while I have you at the podium, could you just, because we are on cable tonight, so for people who are at home, would you like to just give a brief synopsis of what Thursday's planned agenda is?
It actually started probably about a week or two ago.
Yeah?
Today, what we had was we had, the mayor came, well, superintendent from both cities, both mayors from both cities, superintendents, principals, athletic directors, seniors from both teams, Medford and Malden, cheerleaders from both teams, Medford and Malden. We had a luncheon at John Brewer's hosted by Bill Honeycutt, the owner down there. And he's been doing that for the past couple of years, but he expanded it this year for more people to be there. It went real well. And then tomorrow, what do we have going on? We have the burning of the cleat after practice that all alumni are asked to attend, all alumni that have played in the game. Then later on that evening, there is the breakup dinner for the football team and the cheerleaders at the Irish American, which the burning of the cleat and the Irish American, you are all invited to that also. We'd love to see you there. Thursday morning at 7 o'clock, we have breakfast at the dockside. And I believe there's an alumni event going on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at, I think it's Phys Eds for all alumni also. Okay. We also have game day. We have quite an extensive pregame festivities. We're having the dedication of the clubhouse, field house, to Mr. Famano. That'll go off at 9:20. Then at 9:40, we're having all former Malden and Medford football players introduced. And then at 9:48, we're having our seniors, players and cheerleaders introduced with their parents. And then after that, at 9:58, we're having the ceremonial coin toss. We have Mr. Famano's doing the coin toss along with former coach Paul Finn. And from Medford, I believe we have former coach Buddy Kelly. And Coach Papagallo would like to speak real quick. This is the trophy that we play for. And what happens is the trophy gets handed to the winning team, and it stays with them for the year. I've been pretty fortunate for the last 6 years. It has stayed in my office, and it has every year on there and the score of every game. And Coach Papagallo will give you a little bit more on that right now.
Well, ultimately, it's a trophy that belongs to both cities, and basically has resided in Malden for the last, actually 8 out of the last 10 years. So we like to call it home. We don't plan on giving it up anytime soon, and we like to invite everybody to come on down and enjoy what's going to be a beautiful day Thursday morning, Thanksgiving here in Malden.
And we want to thank you, Coach. We know that obviously you and others who assist you certainly have made a difference in the community, specifically with the football team, because we obviously have had that trophy sitting and residing in Malden. So we hope that you'll have that same opportunity, and I imagine that with the good excitement that we are experiencing across the community, the recognition of such a significant game in history between these two cities, I anticipate that we will have success. So we wish you the very best. And again, thank you very much for all of the work that you're doing with our fine men and women.
And then one other thing that was going on in the midst of all this, late last week, the Salvation Army called one of the cheerleader parents, Kathy Murray, and they're running 70 turkeys short for Thanksgiving. And the cheerleaders and the football team took on that task of raising 70 turkeys, and they accomplished that task yesterday. Our goal was to raise 70.
Congratulations. Very fabulous.
The turkeys have all been bought and delivered, and we were at school committee last night, and school committee asked me to extend the same challenge that they had last night to you folks. They donated $100 to the cause also, because what we're doing with the leftover money is the Salvation Army will be looking for that for more donations at Christmas time. So at Christmas time, it's not going to be the football team, it'll be the cheerleaders and the 2 basketball teams carrying on the task for the Salvation Army. So we hope that you folks up there right now would rise to the occasion and donate $100 also.
Well, thank you for that challenge. I'm sure we will. And thank you for obviously, besides a great athletic experience, memory, and benefit of that, but we also realize that our young men and women are definitely having great signs of fabulous character, and that too is embedded in our school system.
It was a pretty successful fall season at the high school. We had the boys soccer team qualify for the state tournament. Girls volleyball team qualified for the state tournament for the first time in the school's history. The golf team qualified for the state tournament, and I'm leaving out someone. The cross country, theirs a little bit different. The girls won the league, and we had a couple of boys that qualified for the state meet, which is a big to-do in cross country. So it was a pretty successful season, and we're going in the right direction, and we thank you for all your support.
And thank you for your leadership very much.
Go Malden.
Go Malden. Okay, I believe that was our 3 guests, and we have had a challenge put before us, so I'm hopeful that the Malden City Council will meet that challenge and, and then some. Next order of business.
Minutes of the council meeting of October 30th and November 13th.
On Councilor Matheson's motion to approve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next order of business.
Dear members of the council, under the provisions of law, I hereby appoint Daniel Willinger of 509 Fellsway East, Malden, Massachusetts, as a constable to serve process in the city of Malden, effective November 13, 2012, set term to expire November 13, 2015. Sincerely, Gary Christensen, Mayor. Confirmation is not required.
On Councilor Lucy's motion to place on file, all in favor? Opposed? Placed on file. Next order of business. The next order of business is the invitation to our assessor, Bob Donnelly, to make a presentation on the residential exemption and residential factor. I'm going to ask Mr. Donnelly to come up to the podium, and I do believe that we had received information in our packet related to the materials that he'll be presenting tonight. So, Mr. Donnelly.
Madam President, councilors, good evening.
Can you do a little brief overview of this for some of our new folks here, Mr. Donnelly, and explain the process?
We did this year actually get you some information ahead of time.
Yes.
That was asked for the past few years. We finally did get it out. The meeting, the public hearing is mandated tonight to establish a minimum residential factor. As we have for at least the past 10 years, we have proposed the minimum residential factor allowed by law. And that is, the factor is 0.869148. This is the maximum shift that we can have from the residential classification to the commercial, industrial, and personal property classifications. That factor results in the commercial, industrial, and personal property owners paying 1.7 times what they would pay if we only had one tax rate. So that is the maximum that you can do for the homeowners in the city. And as I say, we've done this for the past 10 years, so that would be the recommendation of the Board of Assessors.
Questions are to my left. Councilor D'Angelo.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. Assessor, for coming before us. So I'm all in favor of lowering the taxes on people throughout the city of Malden. Just to be clear, just off the top, I'm certainly in favor of that, and the subsequent discussions we'll have about residential rates and things like that. But to me, I'd like to see that savings shared by all entities in the city, both personal and commercial. And I think that if, I understand that that is less revenue for the city to deal with, well, but then so be it. Let's make Malden as affordable as it can be for homeowners and for businesses. So I guess I would just set that stage. I'm sure we'll talk more about it. But to me, you know, making sure that we can keep businesses doing well in this tough economy and going up, even though it's only 1.7, it's still an increase. And for some businesses, it might mean just a few $100s. And for other businesses, it might mean several $1,000s. So to me, making sure that we can keep Malden as affordable as possible, certainly for residential, which again I'm in favor of, but also for businesses as well. I guess I would ask all my colleagues to consider that, and to consider that, you know, if we need to cut in certain places, we've seen what's happening on the national stage. We have indications of what's happening on the state stage and how there could be significantly less aid coming into the city. So I think it's prudent to consider dealing with less. And that's my plea now, is to, I guess, just consider that. I may be the minority here, but just trying to represent for all the taxpayers out there, certainly the homeowners as well as the businesses. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor D'Angelo. Councilor Anderson.
Right. Thank you, Madam President. Let me just be clear and see if I can clear up a couple of things that were just talked about. By shifting this residential exemption, the city gets no more money than it would had we not done that. The burden, however, is shifted so that the non-owner occupied residents, those who own property and live outside of the city, end up not benefiting by the exemption. It's only those who live here, those residential.
Well, we haven't got to that point yet,
Okay,
Counselor.
but
Right now, I'm only talking about the minimum residential factor, which classifies the difference between residential and commercial.
But I know...
And you're right, it does not bring any extra money in.
Right.
But the other thing is, this is not a change. This is not increasing the burden that the commercial, industrial, and personal property taxpayers are used to paying.
Well, Mr. Donnelly, I'm jumping the gun here then, and I'll let you step back in and fill in the pieces. But I just want to be clear that I think the bottom line of this is we're going to be shifting the cost, the tax cost for residential property, and allowing owner-occupied residents a deduction. That's what we do now. What's being recommended is we increase that to some other degree, and I want everyone to know I'm for that. I do understand that there are owners of property that don't live in the city of Malden but have income property here. And while I'm concerned about them, and I'm concerned that the burden is shifted to them, if it's to benefit the residents of Malden, I'm all for that. I am all for that. And unfortunately, since we're talking, not even unfortunately, fortunately, since we're talking about this shift, there is no, I think we are being fair. I think this is a fair move for us to do all that we can for the people that are here in the city of Malden, that live here, that have made their investment, made this as their home. I want to do for them as best we can. So with that, I will relinquish, Madam President, back to you.
Thank you, Councilor Anderson. And you are actually talking and speaking to the second part of what Mr. Donnelly is going to present tonight. As I work to my left, Councilor Kinnon.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I was also going to make the point that this does not shift the burden to the designated commercial business owners, but I would like a point of information so that we can use it as a frame of reference from Mr. Donnelly. Could you tell me what the residential tax rate is today, just for the owner-occupied?
For the last fiscal year?
Yes.
It was $14.33.
And what is it for the non-owner occupied?
Well, the residential rate is the same.
Yeah, but they pay an effective rate which is higher.
No, it's the one rate. It's just that they don't get that dollar amount off.
So what's the effective rate for the people who get the dollar amount off? Because that's lower. Remember, it's lower, right? You don't have to go into that. Hold on. It's lower, that's all we'll say. So it's $14 for the non-owner occupied person, right? $14. What is the commercial rate today?
$24.63? $24.83.
$24.83. So those two numbers are important to understand. The residential rate is 14 for the non-owner occupied property and 23. When you change this, and my contention since I've been promoting this issue also for over 20 years, is that the people who own these large dwellings with, 150 apartments, the people who are trying to own other property in the city are running a business. They are running a commercial business. So that's all I want to keep as a point of reference is their tax rate is nowhere near the commercial rate when we get done doing this. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Kinnon. To my right, Councilor Matheson.
So when I need an education, I usually call up one of the department heads and I'll say this, you're always there for me. Every time I call, you're there to pick up the phone, you always have the answers for me. I appreciate that, Mr. Donnelly.
Thank you.
One of the things that I learned from one of our prior conversations was that we've been referring to this as an owner-occupied tax abatement, but depending on the value of your home, you might not realize a dollar savings at all, which is why Councilor Kinnon had a little difficulty trying to get an answer to that question. There's a break-even point, correct?
There is. Yes.
So it's a progressive tax savings. If you live in a home of lower value, you have a greater savings. If you live in a home of a greater value, you might realize zero savings, even if you're owner-occupied.
Yes, okay. It's possible. It's a very small percentage that don't benefit from it.
Well, the mayor's letter says about 2/3 of residential properties would have their bill reduced under the new plan.
2/3 are receive the exemption.
Right, okay, understood.
Okay.
The other third is perhaps absentee landlords, or people who own a home but don't live in it.
Combination of everything. Small vacant lots that are classified, they're in residential zones. Those are actually, included in that 1/3 that don't get the exemption because obviously there's nobody living there.
Right.
So if it's not owner-occupied, it doesn't get it.
So to apply this exemption, what we do is we take the full basket of homes, ascertain an average, we take 20%, and we're talking going to 30%, off that average. That's the savings that's applied to the owner-occupied homes.
To everybody who is owner-occupant, yes.
But the tax rate also goes up at the same time.
Yes, it does.
So if you have a valuable home, your taxes go up, then the residential exemption kicks in, and it's likely to save you money, but not in every instance is it going to do that.
Correct. You, actually, in that packet that
I've got it.
we handed out, the last thing that does not have a colored page,
Yep.
an Excel spreadsheet with it, that is a list of all of the properties that do not benefit by
Understood.
the residential exemption currently.
Their home value is above the break-even point.
Right. You know, I mean, the last one on the list loses out by $2.25. That's an assessed value of $479,300. There are not that many properties in the city that are assessed that high. The list of all condos, 1, 2, and 3 family dwellings that don't benefit by the residential exemption, there's a total of 97 parcels.
97 parcels
97.
out of condos and
Out
1
of,
and 2
out of,
family.
out of approximately 12,000,
Oh, I see. Out of the whole basket.
yeah.
And I've had the luxury of having this list for quite some time because I asked you for a list like this last year, and I've had that. But I just want to go through pretty quickly in this packet. What do I see behind? I know you have 20, 25, and 30 included here.
Right.
What, for example, looking at 20, what is that 2 pages back? What am I looking at here?
Oh, on the,
It's a list of a few homes, or?
yeah, there would be a total of 11 properties in the city that we have to make sure their bills maintain at least 10% of the original amount. By state law, you cannot reduce anyone's taxes unless they're getting 100% exemption. You cannot reduce their taxes to less than 10% of the original tax on the property. So at the 20%, there are only 11 properties that fall in that category.
So if they're getting too much of a benefit, we have to buoy it.
Right, well, we cut back the amount of the residential exemption. We have been talking with the people from SoftWrite, and they do have a factor built into this. They also have a program so that if there's another exemption, that it will kick out a list to us to tell us that we've got to make changes on those tax bills so that they maintain the 10%.
Back to Councilor Anderson's point, we like owner-occupied homes. People who live in a home are vested in the community. They care about their property. They care about, hopefully, the appearance of their home, the quality of the neighborhood, the quality of the schools, the city as a whole, that participate in different organizations and whatnot. So it's a good thing. That long preface is to ask you, have you seen over time, since we passed the residential tax abatement, owner-occupied units go up? Have we been witnessing that trend or no?
Yes, not quite to the extent that we would like to see it, but there has been slow progress in it. When we first started it, when we first went to, I think it was to 10%. The 5% didn't affect it much, but in truth, we went to 5% because we had never done this before. And
Baby steps.
And there's problems with this, and that we have to know. I had to put in a number tonight, today, into the Department of Revenue, stating how many residential exemptions we are going to pay, and it has to be figured in to figure out what the tax rates are going to be. Now, anybody who might qualify who comes in after this date, they're not going to get it the way it's intended to go. They're still entitled to it, they'll get it, but it's going to come out of our overlay account, which is actually costing the city money. So that's the thing that I have always been afraid of, is that we'd get bombarded with them. So the council, thank you very much, went along with me and broke this in, you know, at 5% increments until we got up to the 20%. At this point, I think we're doing a very good job of getting in touch with people, chasing them down, and it is a job. My team works extremely hard.
You mean to make them aware of the exemption, the abatement?
Yes. Well, to get them to reply. It's, you know, I mean, we send out mailings each year and ask everybody who purchased a house in Malden to fill out the application and send it back. And if we get half of them back, we're lucky. Then we have to go and start checking to see who's got a telephone listing from that address, who's got an automobile registered from that address, who did vote from that address.
So sometimes you can determine that it's owner-occupied even when they haven't filled out the form and sent it back.
Yeah,
Bravo.
yeah.
This is my last question, because you're the person most knowledgeable about this topic. How do you feel about going to 30%? You personally?
You know, I mean, I own a property. I own a condo in the city of Malden.
Right.
You know, I got to do all of the work anyway. Yeah, give me more money.
Right. Thank you.
It's a, you know, it's a nice. I think it's a nice thing for the people to get a break. I mean, if you're living here, working here, contributing to the community, if we can do something for them, you know. I think it's a good idea. If anybody's got qualms about it, they want to do it in stages, you know.
I think we'll...
I have no problem with that either. It's just, you know, it is there, and it's your decision. It's
Thank you
not
very
mine.
much.
I am not here tonight to beg you to
No, I
take
know.
it in increments
I was
as I
asking
did
you
before.
for your candor.
Because
Well done.
I have much more confidence now that we are on top of the numbers that are eligible for it in the city.
Very good.
Thank you, Councilor Matheson. Thank you, Mr. Donnelly. I do know there'll be dialogue. We've got the forms in front of us, or had been provided to us. There are three, I'm assuming people may have brought them, but I'm sure Mr. Donnelly could vet this out for us. But there are three scenarios, three different rates that happen based on moving the exemption factor differently. But I just want to, for a point of clarification, you're here for two items. One was to set the actual residential exemption percent, which is a requirement, correct, to file?
Tax- you have to do both tonight. Well,
And it's your recommendation?
we would appreciate it if you did it tonight. But you have to set the residential factor, which is what sets the difference between the residential and the commercial industrial
Correct.
rates.
And it's your recommendation that that would be 1.7%?
Well,
based on-
actually, no, it's the residential factor, which is an inversion. It's 0.869148 is the factor that I would recommend and ask that you pass.
Okay. So
And that does result in the lowest residential tax rate that you can have by law.
Okay. So everyone understands that that's one part of what his presentation is? Okay, great. Then we can stay focused on the actual tax abatement residential exemption rate. I'm going to continue to my left, and that would be Councilor Murphy for the, or is it Councilor Murphy for the first time?
Actually, thank you. I didn't even have the button pressed, but seeing as how you offered, I'll talk. Sometimes it's
Questions?
fun.
Yeah.
Could you, Mr. Donnelly, just translate that decimal into an actual dollar figure as we talked about the 1423 versus the 2483? Could you just give us the figures that the 0.7 ... translates into for the next fiscal year?
Well, it's the tax rate that it will translate into is dependent upon which residential percentage you pass tonight. If we didn't have the residential exemption, that factor would give you a tax rate of $12.63. Okay, but when you figure in the residential exemption, if you did the residential exemption at 20%, the residential tax rate would be $14.63. If you did it at 25%, the rate would be $15.23.
Let's just stay with for just the amount, just like apples to apples, I guess, is, you know, what it would be this year to last year based on the same parameters. So it would be 1423 last year, 1463 this year, or next year.
Yes, well, it would be, if you stayed at the same.
Just keeping everything.
If you kept everything else equal, it would be 1463, an increase of 30 cents.
And the commercial?
The commercial would go up from 2483 to 2542.
2542, okay. So basically, all things being equal, it's pennies, or dimes, I guess I would say, in some case, increase, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Last year, there were larger
Thank you.
increases because our values fell. This year, the values pretty much, kind of leveled out. They're pretty much the same as they were, the totals are pretty much the same.
Which is actually good, and I guess what I just wanted to get kind of on camera for the record is that, you know, even though we're coming in a new year, there's not any type of exorbitant tax increase coming at anyone based on the parameters that we had last year to this year. And I think that that's comforting for people to know that, you know, we're really in that same ballpark, you know, for a tax rate.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Murphy. Councilor Anderson? No. Councilor D'Angelo?
Thank you. I have more of just a technical question. I don't want to debate really, but it seems like we're only being presented with one side here. I just want to make sure both sides are represented, to be fair to all groups in Malden. So you indicated that there's a list of 97 that do not qualify. Do you have a list of all multifamily non-owner occupied? And if not a list, a ballpark estimate of how many we're talking about here?
No, I don't.
Out of 16,000, right? Probably 12,000
No,
of
it is, what is it, 13,000?
residential occupied, right?
Yeah, it's,
So you're looking at 4,000 units, somewhere?
12,529.
Okay, so you're looking at roughly around 4,000 units,
Well,
properties,
well,
parcels?
you know, there's. Right,
Okay.
yeah.
So
But
8,500?
of those that are not going to receive it, there's several hundred that are vacant lots. So-
I understand. So, but what's the amount of that? Is it 8,500? 8,500 parcels?
No, 8,500.
Last year, 8,563 received
Yeah,
12,533 residential parcels.
Oh, okay.
563 received it last year, and we believe 8,564, based on all the phone calls and everything we did, are going to get it this year.
Okay. But I'm trying to ascertain how many are going to be getting a tax increase. How many parcels will be getting a tax increase because there'll be parcels that are getting a tax decrease? That's what I'm trying to ascertain.
well, roughly 4,000, I mean, including everything.
Okay.
Yeah, including the vacant lots.
So that's what I'm trying to ascertain. So just so my colleagues understand that there's 4,000 properties that will be going up, and I don't know if you could calculate the shift roughly, but it's going to be significant. Matter of fact, I would venture to guess it's going to be, if it's 8,000 that are getting it, it's going to be at least a 2-to-1 factor that theirs is going to increase by. So if you own a 3-family as an investment property, right? Odds, and that's worth $400,000 or $500,000, whatever it's worth. Odds are your taxes are going up hundreds, if not maybe even thousands of dollars. So just to be clear on that, all the landlords in the city will now be paying thousands of dollars more, or hundreds of, if not thousands of dollars more this year. All I'm advocating for is, let's give them a tax break too. Let's give everybody tax breaks. Single family, multifamily, businesses. That's the way you stimulate it. So that's my comment, thank you.
Right.
All right, Councilor D'Angelo, this is about owner-occupied tax exemption, not for people who make investment in the city and do not live here. Councilor Kinnon, your light's on, no, good.
I'd like to make a motion that we take Mr. Donnelly, the assessor's recommendation, and set the tax rate.
I have a second from Councilor. It's Councilor from Councilor Lucy. Does this require a roll call? I bet it does. It does.
While we're here, can I make a second motion that we accept the exemption and we move it up to 30%?
We're not on that topic. It's not, there's two items.
Just throwing it out there while we're waiting for the clerk.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let's take the first. So we want to take a vote, roll call on accepting the percentage that, on Council Lucy's motion to adopt a residential factor of .0
.869148.
as a residential factor. I need a roll call, and I will start with Counselor Anderson.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
D'Arcangelo.
Yes.
Kinnon. Lucy. Matheson.
Yes.
Murphy. Nestor.
Yes.
Spatafora.
Yes.
Altrino. And myself, yes. 11-0, it passes. Next order of business on this topic is before us, we have a motion from Counselor Nestor to accept the Counselor Nestor's motion to adopt a residential exemption of 30%. Seconded by Counselor Kinnon. Do we want any dialogue around this? Or do we discuss it? For purposes of discussion? We have, well, move the question. We are doing the residential exemption. That was the factor. No, we're doing that now. And the question has been moved. We need a roll call for 30%. Roll call. And this is for, on Councilor Nestor's motion for a residential exemption of 30%.
Counselor Anderson. Crow. D'Arcangelo. Kinnon. Lucy. Matheson. Murphy. Nestor. Spatafora. Altrino. Bucci.
Yes, passes 11-0.
To thank Steve Farmer for creating the Excel spreadsheet that was used to get you this information this year. He updates that for us every year, for which I am very grateful. Is he here? Yes. Yes, Steve. Thank you.
From a procedural standpoint, just as an FYI, and it's my faux pas trying to play secretary at the same time, but post our initial discussion related to the residential exemption, I should have actually invited the public to come forward for any public input. That being said, is there anyone here who would like to voice their thoughts, comments? Seeing none? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Donnelly. And thank you, Mr. Farmer. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition?
I got it.
Seeing none, close the public part. Which is?
That the hearing was held and that the,
Okay.
this is the residential
Okay.
this is the exemption.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be circulating a form that each of us have to sign off, noting that there has been a public discussion and that we have selected a residential factor of .869148, and we actually have a residential exemption of 30%. I'll pass it to my left and then bring it back to my right for everyone to have their signature of approval. Thank you. Yes. Next order of business.
Application for temporary vendor's license, Boy Scout Troop Number 603, 493, for sales at the Holiday Parade to be held November 24th, 2012.
On Councilor Anderson's motion to grant, all in favor? Opposed? It is granted. Next order of business.
Be it hereby ordained that Chapter 12 of the revised ordinances of 1991 be amended by adding use regulations, intensity and dimensional controls, parking regulations, and definitions for spa or massage centers. Councilor Nestor.
On Councilor Nestor's motion for, this is going to planning and ordinance. All in favor? Opposed? Next order of business.
Ordered that the city adopt the attached Policies and procedures for financial reserves. Councilor Lucy.
On Council Lucy for the, I'm sorry, on Council Lucy's for the paper. Oh, I'm sorry, on Council Lucy's motion to suspend financial rules. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Council Lucy for the paper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a definite step in the right direction for the city. It's a policy that from here on in, if adopted by the City Council, that a certain percentage of the annual budget will have that amount in reserves. The percentage is 7.5%. The average statewide, I've been told, is 6.5, so Malden would be ahead of that. It's just a good way of, the city having money in reserve in case, well, not in case, they have to do it. So, I know last the budget season and during the budget dialogue, there was a concern from some councils that maybe the money we had in reserve wouldn't be enough. So this is a definite step in the right direction. From here on in, the city will have money in reserve, a certain percentage, 7.5 of their budget. So I would ask that the whole council approve this. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Lucy. Council Spatafora.
I definitely am in full support of this paper, but I also just wanted to thank the hard work for Mr. Chuck Ranigan, or Charles Ranigan on this. It's something that I don't want to say I thought up early. I was watching the State Rainy Day Fund several months ago, and I wanted to kind of enact that here in the city of Malden. I sent an email to Mr. Charles Ranigan, and he told me we are actually going to work on that. We're working on that already, Councilor, and you should probably see something coming down to the council in the next couple months. And sure enough, the paper was delivered to the finance team, and I can't think of a better time when the city is in good financial standing and we're going out to bond. And this will make our credit rating better, which for those most people understand, the better credit rating you have, the lower rate you can get when you go out to borrow. And that is a huge impact, I think, on the personal level. You know how much money people are saving with the low loans we have on homes and cars and 0% on the store credit cards. But take that number and put that on to something like $30 or $40 million when the city goes out to borrow, significant amounts of savings. And just off the top of my head, I think it's $500,000 when we do this if our rating and our financial house gets in order. So I just want to say I think it's fully 100% in support of this. I'm glad the city's doing it. I don't want to say about time, but we're doing it. It's good practice not only for the city, I think, but individually. But I really want to single out Mr. Ranigan for his hard work. He's been working on it like literally for 6 or 7 months, and he's been looking at all the practices of the cities and towns that have it. And I think we have a combination of the best ones out there. So I just wanted to give a particular thank you out to him. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Council Spatafora. Councilor Anderson.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I won't reiterate what the esteemed councilor at large, Councilor Spatafora, has just said, because he captured certainly the spirit and the intent of my feeling as well, that for us to set aside a few acons each year, it has such a significant impact on us and our bond rating and our own viability. So I am in full support. I won't go through all that Councilor Spatafora just said, but because he said it all so perfectly. So thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Anderson. Councilor Kinnon.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I won't go over the whole thing either, but I will say this much, that this has not been the most productive year for the City Council. This issue, perhaps, is the most important thing that a City Council has passed in a decade, maybe longer. So if nothing else happens in terms of passing ordinances, because I won't even say it, but if nothing else happens, this is by far the best thing that's been done for the city's health in an awful long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Kinnon. Councilor D'Angelo.
Just to keep going with this jubilance of this paper, and I too just want to take a moment to commend the controller, Charles Ranigan, for doing a great job on this. And this is very fiscally prudent, it's very wise, it's going to save the city a lot of money, it's great fiscal practice, all the things that Councilor Spatafora indicated. So perhaps some fiscal conservatism is wearing off here, so I'm very, very pleased with that. And I think it's, this is just a good example of how if you run things in a good way, that you're rewarded, so.
Thank you, Councilor D'Arcangelo. Councilor Altrino.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a question. I think this is great practice. It was recommended in the management letter, I believe, under our auditors. But I have a question for Mr. Ranigan, if you don't mind.
Mr. Ranigan, will you come to the podium, please?
Thank you, Ms. Ranigan. By the way, you live in a great ward. Just so you know. I have a question. If we have this money set aside, which is the 7.5% of the budget, what's the process that something happens, say federally, sequestration, or something happens in the city where there's a lawsuit, or we have to actually take from that? What's the process that happens, and does that affect your bond rating because you had to dip into it, but you had plans to replenish it?
The way the policy reads now, the 7.5% of the overall operating budget would remain in reserves. There could be other reserves, and the further you read throughout the policy, it talks about future subsequent year free cash certifications going into a capital stabilization fund. Now again, those funds would be set aside for a specific purpose, for capital needs, I believe, to reduce future borrowing. So if there were cuts going, those reserve funds there would be reserved for, again, a very specific purpose. But you could, in an instance like that, tap into other reserve funds that weren't earmarked for that 7.5% or that capital stabilization.
So anything over the 7.5%, because that number will change every year based on the budget.
Correct.
That X amount of dollars gets put into a stabilization fund or free cash?
Any free cash certification, the way this policy is written, any free cash certification would then be put into a capital stabilization fund.
Okay.
There could be other reserve funds used to offset any potential cuts.
Personnel cuts or any cuts?
Anything, correct.
Even if it's a capital account?
Not those two accounts.
Not those two.
Not the 7.5% and not the capital stabilization.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Ranigan. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Altrino. And from my seat, having heard a little bit more about this last Friday in meeting with the mayor, we've all read the paper and hear on the horizon that it's possible, that the folks at the state are telling us that we could be running into some challenges. And that being said, it's typically going to affect us on a local aid side of the equation. So, again, any time that we can be fiscally prudent and do some good, solid future planning, which to Councilor Kinnon's point, this is probably one of the better pieces of work that we will do collectively. In that vein, I certainly want to not belabor our taking a vote. So on Councilor Lucy's motion to adopt, it is a roll call.
Councilor Anderson. Crow. D'Arcangelo. Kinnon. Lucy. Matheson. Murphy. Nestor. Spatafora. Altrino. Bucci.
Yes. Adopted 11-0. Next order of business.
Resolved as the sense of the City Council that the city's legislative delegation propose and/or support an amendment to House Bill number 2160, also known as the Medical Marijuana Bill, to allow landlords, property owners, condominium owners, and condominium associations to prohibit the use or growing of medical marijuana in housing units or buildings under their control. Councilor Nestor.
Councilor Nestor for the paper.
Thank you. I think you said it all right there. So, pretty clear what we're doing. We were all contacted by a resident who was in the real estate business and had some concerns with this. So all we're doing here is asking the legislators to support this revision to their bill. And again, it allows property owners the ability to prohibit the use of medical marijuana in property under their control. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Nestor. And I do have a light. I think Councilor D'Arcangelo.
I would ask to abstain from this vote.
Okay. On Councilor Nestor's motion to pass, all in favor? Aye. And opposed? Passes. Next order of business.
The Standing Committee on Public Property, to whom was referred paper number 432, series of 2012, having considered the same, make the following report. Ordered that the City of Malden submit to the Massachusetts Legislature for passage in the following form: an act authorizing the City of Malden to convey a sewer easement over a portion of certain parkland. Committee recommends that this paper be reported out favorably. Councilor Kinnon for the committee.
On Councilor Kinnon's motion to receive the committee report, all in favor? Opposed? Councilor Kinnon for the paper. You're on. I got a light.
Thank you, Madam President.
I got a light.
This is the paper which was sent into Public Properties last week, and it was voted out unanimously. It gives the owner of the property down at Maplewood and South Broadway Park area, who's going to allow us to build part of South Broadway Park on his property. It gives him an easement into the sewer system, which is currently under the Maplewood Park. Which is a very small parcel if something were to go wrong. But it needs, even in this case, to go to the state legislature for passage. Thank you.
You're welcome. On Councilor Kinnon's motion to adopt. It's a roll call. Anderson?
Yes.
Councilor Crowe? Yes. Councilor D'Arcangelo? Yes. Councilor Kinnon?
Yes.
Councilor Lucy? Yes. Councilor Matheson? Yes. Councilor Murphy? Yes. Councilor Nestor? Yes. Spatafora? Yes. Councilor Altrino? Yes. Myself, yes. 11 to nothing. That's okay. It was adopted.
On Councilor Lucy's motion to discharge papers number 370 and 371, Mayor's reappointment of Andrew Zamani to the Board of Register of Voters and Kenny Mazonson to the Conservation Commission.
On Councilor Lucy's motion, on Councilor Lucy's motion to discharge the papers from Appointments Committee, all in favor? Opposed? On Councilor Lucy's motion to confirm, it would be a roll call.
Councilor Anderson. Yes. Crowe. Yes. D'Arcangelo. Yes. Kinnon. Yes. Lucy. Matheson. Murphy. Yes. Nestor. Yes. Spatafora. Altrino. Bucci.
Yes. They are confirmed 11 to 0. On next order of business.
Under suspension of docket rules, be it ordained that Chapter 12 of the revised ordinances of 1991 be amended relative to parking requirements in the Central Business District. Councilor Nestor.
On Councilor Nestor's motion to suspend docket rules, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilor Nestor.
Hi, this is an ongoing discussion that we've been having with the mayor's office about changing some of the parking requirements in the Central Business District to make them match what we've done for the RIO and RIOB. I would just like this to be referred to ordinance for discussion. And planning, sorry, joint ordinance planning for discussion. Thank you.
On Councilor Nestor's motion to refer to planning and ordinance, all in favor? Opposed? Referred. Next order of business.
Under suspension of docket rules, ordered that the Director of Public Works and representatives of JRM appear before the council in 2 weeks to discuss the condition of streets subsequent to trash removal. Councilor Nestor.
On Councilor Nestor's motion to suspend docket rules, all in favor? Opposed? Councilor Nestor.
Thank you. Over the last few weeks, I've been getting increased calls from residents that when the trash is being picked up, they're actually making quite a mess with trash left all over the streets, with the barrels thrown all over the place. So I'd like to have a representative of JRM and possibly the DPW director just to come and speak to us. And I'd also like, legal to maybe look at the contract itself to see if there's an out on this, because this is just getting worse and worse as the year progressed and the more calls that I'm getting. So I'd like to move that forward if there's no objection.
So just for point of clarification, we have requested JRM and DPW director. Are you also requesting the city solicitor present that? for that discussion.
Do I need a resolve to ask the city solicitor
No.
to look at the contract? I could do that on my own, right? Okay, all right. So I'll take
All
that
right,
portion
on
out.
Counselor Nestor's motion to pass. All in favor? Opposed? Next order of business. I do. We do have one additional item that is still being worked out, whether or not it will be brought into the chamber tonight for discussion. In the interim of time, trying to wait for a decision around that, as folks are discussing it, I've been asked to come off our agenda and do personal privilege at this time. So saying that, I will start to my left. Councillor Kinnon. Yes. It is on. Plug it. Is the plug fixed?
Yes, Madam President, very good. Thank you. I just would like to wish all the people out in Malden, particularly Ward 6, a very happy Thanksgiving, the most American of holidays. And I mean American. I would also like to wish Malden High, Mystic Valley, and Malden Catholic the best on their Thanksgiving Day football games, and I hope they all win. Thank you.
Councillor Murphy.
Well, I guess to be totally repetitive, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving in the city of Malden and throughout the country, and also in Ward 5, change it up a little bit. And also all of the football teams a victorious day for their football games, wherever they may be playing, and certainly Malden High School's 125th Malden Medford game. Go Malden, that's all I can say. I'll definitely be there. Thanks, and everyone have a happy Turkey Day.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Anderson?
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, go all of those teams that have been mentioned, so I will not be repetitive, but I do want to call attention to the holiday parade that is going to take place on Saturday, and to the sponsors of that holiday parade. I know Councilor Spatafora, the mayor, was originally involved in sponsoring that as a city councilor, and I can remember back when that was called the Christmas parade, probably 20-some odd years ago, when I was on the council, and it's been a tradition that we have continued over these many, many years, and as you all know, I put a float in the parade each year. The Ward 7 Association will be part of the parade. I've asked this year, incidentally, to if the committee organizers will allow my float to go further to the front of the parade, so I get a chance to see the parade as those of you who will be standing on the reviewing stand. So I'm hoping to be able to move up closer to the front so that when we pass and review, I'll be able to get up and enjoy this holiday celebration as the rest of you do. I'd also, in that same regard, like to encourage the mayor, His Honor the Mayor, to consider looking to put some funds into the holiday parade in the next budget. You know, each year they scramble for money. They come back to each of us, asking us to take money out of our ward account to support that. I mean, this is a worthwhile and worthy enough activity that we do, that I would hope that the city of Malden, through its budget, can add some dollars to supporting this holiday parade, a great activity that's been operating on a shoestring, and I think if we can find a way to do that, I would hope that he would do just that, because I certainly think that all of us in the council would support that. Again, a happy Thanksgiving to all of my colleagues here, and to all of the citizens of Malden, and wish you all a good Thanksgiving, and look forward to seeing you at the holiday parade, as well as seeing you all at the traditional Malden Medford football game. Go Malden Tornadoes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Anderson. Councillor Giacangelo?
Thank you, Madam President. And certainly thank you to everybody for tonight. Looks like we've gotten some good business down here. I'm very pleased to see that. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, obviously, and hope everybody stays safe. And to the holiday parade that Councilor Spatafora has put together, good job there. That'll be great. Very pleased to take part. I do want to go back to Saturday night, and I won't take Councilor Lucy's thunder too much, but I want to congratulate Dom Fermano on well-deserved accolades. And I was able to go to the Golden Tornado Club banquet. It was great interacting with all the great athletes from Malden's past. So congratulations to all of those that were inducted. And also tomorrow, if you want to come down, all of my colleagues here and anybody out there, Rotary Kiwanis will be having its joint meeting tomorrow down at noon at Anthony's, and we should be having some fun. So again, wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Councilor D'Arcangelo. Councilor Altrino.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to thank the YMCA for honoring Mrs. Crokin and Mr. Eddie Trabucco in our gala. Also thank Councilor Kinnon for his attendance and support as a former board member and swim coach. So the Y was honored to have Mrs. Crokin and former Police Chief Trabucco for their years of service. But near and dear to my heart, Saturday night, as Councilor D'Arcangelo mentioned, was the naming of our field house to John Fermano. You couldn't have given someone who bleeds blue and gold more than anyone that I've ever known. It was such a tribute. I think he's still crying. And he's just, every time I call him this week, he is just still in awe. But I told him it's nothing to be crying about. You should be very excited in it. And staying in the ward, Dom is a Ward 2 guy, former counselor, and to see that in his ward and to see that plaque going up, you know, he'll be remembered for all the work that he's done. I just don't know what else to say, and he's probably going to get mad at me for saying it, but what a great tribute, if anything, that could have been given to such a great man. So I want to thank the Golden Tornado Club and the Stadium Commission and the mayor for their approval of that, and what a tribute. It really is a tribute. He's still here in the city, still very active, and calls me and critiques my votes when necessary. So congratulations, Dom. Thank you.
Councilor Lucy.
I guess I can cross Dom off my list here. For those that I know, Councilor Spatafora was there, Madam President, I know you were there too. It was probably one of the better moments I think you could ever imagine. I think, and credit to his wife, Sheila. First of all, let me congratulate the 5 other inductees into the Hall of Fame. We did Dom last. Dom didn't have a clue. He had no idea. We got him there, presented him with one of those commemorative coins that we got. They also gave him a jersey, you know, what he wore back in 1957 in a nice frame, so it was a nice presentation. He was moved by that. We let him walk away a little bit, and we called him back. And then we unveiled the plaque that went on the building. Well, you can imagine what happened after that. To me, it was probably one of the best presentations I ever saw in my life, because you're never going to find a better guy. I'm always amazed, even that night when I was speaking on Dom's behalf, all that he's done for the Golden Tornado Club. You know, he's a member of the Hall of Fame in the book. He's been awarded Distinguished Service Award on the back of the book, and he got that presentation. And there's nothing, Councilor Anderson, you're the only one up here that has anything named after, and you're still breathing. But there's nothing better than getting a building named after you like Dom did that night. And it was just, he was overwhelmed with it, and you couldn't have, I mean, if you thought of something to give to somebody, that was the gift to Dom. You know, all that he's done on that stadium, all that he's done for Malden, all that he's done for Malden High Sports was just an amazing night. So I'd like to give Dom a shout out as well. Congratulations. They are going to, on the day of the game at 9:30, they are going to do a presentation of the building, so anyone that can make it. The game starts at 10, but if you can get there at 9:30, it's even better. And give Dom the tribute that he certainly deserves. And, you know, with that, of course, good luck to Malden, good luck to Charter, good luck to MC, good luck to the Volk, whoever's playing on Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And if I could just say one other thing, at the conclusion of the holiday parade on Saturday, it ends at the Malden Teen Enrichment Center. We're about 90% done. We're probably going to open a couple weeks, but it's a good time to open the doors and let people see what we've done up to this point. Very, very proud of that site. We've had so many great individuals, whether it's donating money, donating time, donating materials, We've had labor unions go in there, paint for nothing, give paint. We've had just the outpouring of support of that has been phenomenal. I think for those that see what that's going to become once we open, you're going to love it. It's first class, and so after conclusion of the holiday parade, the doors will be open, light refreshments, and although not completely finished, we're very proud of what we have down there, and we want everyone to come in and see it. So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Lucy. Councilor Matheson.
Wow, November's a busy month. Want to obviously wish everyone a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. It doesn't have the stress of the shopping. It does have all your friends and family coming together and feasting and watching football. It's a beautiful holiday. Just want to point out that at 9:30 is the dedication of the Fieldhouse to Don Fermano. The game is at 10 o'clock in the morning. Malden and Medford have its 125th matchup on Thanksgiving Day, which is one of the oldest rivalries in all of sports. Certainly one of the top Thanksgiving rivalries in the United States. We're very proud of them. We had the Malden High teammates here today. If you're looking for something different to do perhaps and help people and feel good about it, the Bread of Life is going to be serving Thanksgiving dinner in Malden High School. That service is between noon and 4, but if you want to volunteer, there's more work for you earlier in the morning, but show up anytime from 8 to 2 p.m. Go on down there and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Matheson. Councilor Nestor.
Thank you. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Wish Malden Catholic and Malden High and the charter school a victory this week. The annual Chamber of Commerce and Oak Grove Improvement Society Remembrance Street lighting will be on the 5th. If you want to buy a light in remembrance of anybody that may have passed, please contact the Chamber of Commerce. One other thing I'd like to mention, on November 8th, our own Malden Cyclone cheerleaders, the junior Pee Wee team, won the New England Regional Championship, and they're on their way to the National Championships down in Disney on down in Disney on the 3rd. So I know that you've seen that, maybe been asked for donations before to help these girls out, but they really are an incredible group of girls, incredible athletes, and it is really a testament to the organization that we consistently send girls down there for these competitions as well. So if you've never seen any of these competitions, or maybe you saw them on ESPN, the older college girls, these little girls do the exact same thing. They're incredible stunts. The girls fly through the air. The tumbling is just absolutely incredible. So would ask that anybody out there would like to support them. You can go to their website at www.maldencyclones.net, and I just ask everybody to think about what a great experience these are for these girls. I've had the opportunity to bring my daughter down. It is absolutely fantastic. A few days down there. For many of these girls, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and if you think about it, some of these girls are. How many times has anybody ever had the opportunity to say that they competed for and possibly were the best at what they did and what they loved, the best in the world? So this is the opportunity these girls have on the 3rd. So hope everybody can dig a little deep and support them. Again, it's www.maldencyclones.net. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Nestor. Councilor Crowe.
Thank you, Madam President. As everybody else, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, a safe one. I also want to give go Malden, and a shout out to the Salvation Army. As Mr. Keefe said earlier, they were short 70 turkeys, and then the athletic department kind of stepped up and helped get the turkeys. But they also today gave, with the help of some 8th graders at the Ferryway School, gave out over 160 boxes of all the preparations that people are going to need for Thanksgiving. Potatoes and carrots and onions and a whole box of things, including the turkeys. So actually, because of the help of the athletic department, they had more turkeys that I think are going to be cooked and brought down to the Don't Be Left at Thanksgiving Alone. And if people want to help, tomorrow night at the high school, the Bread of Life has people there getting the turkeys and everything else ready. So from 4 p.m. on, people are always there. So I appreciate anyone doing that. And just as another aside, I just want to update the council as well, that on last week I testified at the Joint Commission on Transportation on behalf of our home rule petition. And they sent us back with there's a lot of work to be done. Kathleen Manning Hall from the mayor's office came with me, and that was great. And Senator Clark has been amazing with helping us rewrite some of the things. So I'll be reaching out to you all, because he's not going to give us the blanket approval, but they gave us me some ideas of ways we can go at this. So I'll be reaching out to you. We are still moving forward, and that's it. So thank you.
Councilor Spatafora.
Thank you, Madam President. And being last, I just don't want to be as repetitive as everybody else, but hopefully all the Malden teams win Thursday. I want to thank all the councils for their help and their donations for the holiday parade. There's a lot of good things going on the next couple of days, whether it be the Bread of Life, or the holiday parade, or the dedication for Mr. Fumano. But I do want to give a special thank you to the entire Drummy family. Myself and Council Christensen have been doing the holiday parade for 10 years, and this year more than even the past years. If it wasn't for the Drummy family, this parade probably wouldn't have kind of gone forward. Not that saying it was a second or last minute thought, but a lot of things were running through our minds the last couple of weeks, and then we kind of buckled down the last few weeks and started making the phone calls. But I want to thank Marge, Michael, and Megan Drummy for their hard work. The mayor as well, he finalized the program today, and I want to thank Council Anderson for his motion there to put some money in the budget next year. I was hoping we could hear that from somebody. I think it's, we do it for the Veterans Day parades and World Day parades, so I think it's important. It's something where the city comes together. I know the councils hopefully do enjoy marching. It's supposed to be beautiful out that day. There was a couple ideas we're working on for next year to kind of change it up as well. But again, I want to, not night, will never be night, no. That was one mistake we did, council. But I want to thank the councils and everybody else who donated for their time. And just to repeat, the parade is going to be this Saturday at 12 o'clock. It starts at the Salem Woods School on Wade Street Extension. It will take a left onto Maplewood Street, take an immediate left on Salem Wood Street, and then we'll end at the corner of Salem Wood and Main, which is going to be directly in front of the Teen Center. We have various members marching. The post office will be there again collecting letters for Santa Claus. I encourage the children to come out. That's what it's all about. I also encourage anybody who lives around the parade route, please be mindful that we will have no parking on that day. We already put the signs up. We're ahead of our time this year. But please come out of your house, join us, and I hope everybody has a memorable time. Everybody have a safe Thanksgiving, and I look forward to 2013. It's right around the corner. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Council Spatafora. And from the chair, I too want to wish everyone a very happy and healthy holiday with their families. It is absolutely my favorite holiday. There's no, as Councilor Matheson has pointed out, it's really a great time to just relax with your family. And on this special day for us here in Malden, it's really a wonderful day to get down to the field and enjoy the festivities and the excitement that will be here at Pearl Street Stadium, at McDonald Stadium. I do also want to remind folks, and I think it may have been mentioned, but if not, obviously Bread of Life and other organizations are very busy on Thanksgiving Day, but I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with the Bread of Life the night before in all of its preparation of the room itself that serves dinner, but more importantly, how that dinner gets how those turkeys get carved up. So it's a pretty exciting place to be, and also a very humbling experience for those who may not have done that. Good luck to all of our student athletes on Thanksgiving Day. Certainly, my alma mater, Malden High School, go Golden Tornadoes. And I too just want to take a personal moment to thank Don Fermano. I know that he's getting honored and has been honored, and we'll have another moment to shake his hand and give him a hug on Thursday. But from my seat in public serving, Don was a fellow that I could just go to with any question, made himself available, still asks, as maybe not as intimately about my votes as he is with Councilor Altrino, but each and every time I run into Don, he's home watching this particular night, taking in account what we're all doing, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, respectful or not respectful. He's a man of his word. He lets you know exactly how he thinks you're doing. So in any event, I do want to personally thank him for all of the wisdom, guidance, and advice that he has actually provided to me over the years, and hopefully has had an impact in some of the decisions I've had to make. That being said, I think I'm Counselor Altrino has got a light on. Counselor Altrino.
Thank you, Madam President. The council's probably going to kill me, but I am asking your indulgence to have a 10-minute recess to reconvene as the Malden Redevelopment Authority and the city solicitor is finalizing a contract on the potential sale of the
Actually, Counsel,
Emerson School.
are they here? Is there a need for this?
Excuse me. Well, actually, may I give the floor to the city solicitor? Madam President. Forget the recess.
I know you've had a very long evening, but could I just request briefly to go into a 5-minute executive session with the council regarding these contract negotiations? Just a couple of issues I want to address, and I think it would be detrimental to the negotiations if we didn't address it in executive session.
Counsel Spatafora has
I'll
made
make
a
the motion that we
motion.
go into executive session for the purpose of contract negotiations on a piece of, on real estate. Thank you, Madam President.
And Counselor Anderson has seconded. Roll call.
Counselor Anderson. Crow. D'Angelo. Lucy. Matheson. Murphy. Nestor. Spatafora.
Yes.
Altrino. Bucci.
Yes.